Hey guys, well, got all the way back and realized I messed up. So, 3 of the laser body heatsink things that I made will not work. This one needs to be bored out a little bit more, deeper. This one needs to be bored a little bit deeper. And this one just plain simple needs to be bored. I don't know how I missed that. Well, 2 days to do everything. First day was a write-off making the first part, the prototype, and then having to do 10 of these in the next day, so that's how I missed it. And then after I get these done, which is going to take like 20 minutes, I'm going to start making another one of these out of this. I've got my bearings here, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I've got enough to make 2.5, so if I need to, one will be the prototype. And then, once I get that done, if there is enough time, I want to make another laser body. This one will be just a handheld one. I'll put an 18650 in the back, a little driver board in there, and a button for on and off. And this will have a heatsink machined into it, and then I'll have to mill out the cavity inside enough to fit an 18650. And then I might see if I can make a cap or something. I'll have to figure that out. I can't just bore a hole in the back and not have a cap. So maybe I will machine it down and then learn how to make threads or something. This is just an afterthought project. Nothing that is making me any kind of money or anything. It's just a fun little experimentation to see what I can do. I'm going to knurl the outside of it once I'm done as well, just for aesthetic purposes. But enough to chat. I've got to get these 3 done. I've got a day and a half to do it. So let's get started. This time I brought reinforcements. Alright, now I got all those done. Time to move on to this. So I don't know, I doubt these jaws will open up enough. Ooh, that presents a problem. This might be too long for this, because I'm going to have to flip the jaws around, and then that means I've only got that much to grab it with. And if I'm gonna have to steady rest this. That's the only way this will work. That's alright. That's what I'll have to do. upon pulling the jaws out, these are the ones that I removed from it, you'll notice that the teeth go one way. There's another set of jaws. So with the teeth going the same way, we can now grab stuff backwards. So I'm going to have to change out to these jaws. Not a big deal, you just got to make sure you get them in the right orientation. I believe this is number 1, this is number 2, and this is number 3. So we'll put these other jaws in, and Bob will be your uncle. Technically Bob's my uncle, but pretty cool guy. I don't think he'd mind being other people's uncles too. There it is. Not quite far enough. There she goes. And I can't remember this one. This one's got some schmoo on it. Okay, I'll show you guys a close-up of this. Oop, there it is. Yeah, you can see that top thread. So, back her off. Fit the jaw in. Oops. There we go. It wasn't quite backed off enough. And then it should tighten, unless I just stuck the wrong jaw in. I did. This is the one we need. It's been a day. There we go. Okay, now we're cooking with mustard gas. Okay, there we go. So some jaws are use interchangeable bits? I don't know what these things are called. They use interchangeable of these. Some these are cut both ways, so you just pull it out, flip it around, put it back in, done. This particular one evidently uses 2 sets. So we'll get this guy mounted up into here. I'll do a facing pass, and then I will a very careful facing pass, and then I will center drill it, and then we'll get her stuffed in there pretty good. Actually, I'm wondering, I might be able to turn that down enough that I could grab it, with it being right flush against the back of the chuck. That way I've got all that to grip it with instead of just the lip. Just the lip. That's a little scary when you've got I don't know, 3 pounds of metal rotating at a high velocity. It's got a lot of stored energy in it. If that flew off, it would hurt. So I'll center it up. I will mill the one little bit down far enough that I can rest it against the back there. Grip it with the full length of yonder teeth, so about 1.25 inches, I'm guessing. Oh, maybe less. Yeah, maybe about 1 1/8 inches. And then we'll do it. That sounds good. Yummy. Okay, I'll get set up. That's near got her. If I dimple this a little bit, the bearing will fit in really snug. I went just like a hair over, but it's working. I'm going to machine this bit down a little bit more so there's a bit more of a defined ridge, and that will press against here. And then I'm just going to bore this out a little bit bigger so it's just a hair bigger than 5/8. And then I won't have to have a spacer inside it, like this one does. I wonder if you can see that. Shiny parts. Yeah, there's the spacer. So I had to cut a spacer, and as a result of that, these don't quite sit flush. So this is turning out really good. This one's obviously been well used. So I'm getting all the internal machining done on it, and then I'll do a final outside diameter pass, but I'm really getting the hang of this machining thing. I don't know if the techniques and stuff that I'm using are correct, but they're getting the job done with fairly reasonable accuracy, so awesome. Yeah, so I'm going to take a break for lunch. And then I'll make a couple more passes, get this little shoulder right there defined a little better. And then we'll finish boring this out. But I'm probably going to have to find another boring bar. This one isn't long enough, as my piece is a lot bigger than the laser bodies that I was turning, so it hits here. Whereas in the other one I could go down to there, I could plunge to here. So, oh well. Oh. Need to charge you guys too. I got 30 minutes of recording left. Oh no! I just realized the flaw with my idea. I wanted to have the center section act as the spacer, but that's not going to work, because in order to act as a spacer it has to press against the inner race, and if it's pressing against the inner race to this housing, it basically, the bearing has no effect at that point. So I guess I'm going to be machining it all out and then making another spacer. Oh well, that's how you learn. Well guys, here's my finished part. Didn't turn out too bad for my first ever internal boring job. I've never never machined the inside of something before, so that's pretty neat. This one is actually it's a pretty snug fit. Whew, that's a little on the warm side, but okay, I'll just leave that one in there. But this side is the first one that I did, and it's not quite as tight, but I can also dimple this and then drive the bearing in, and it'll be good to go. So I'm very happy with that. It turned out almost exactly. It's a little bit larger on the outer diameter, but that's not a big deal. I can use this as a as I can't remember what it's called, the tracking pulley, or I can put it on the bottom. We'll see what I end up using it for, but friggin' sweet. That's not too bad a job for my first ever internal machining job. I am quite pleased with that. That's a little bit of marks from the hacksaw. This is gonna get beat up anyways. Like, that one's seen some better days, so I'm not overly concerned about that little mark there. It is straight, it's true. It's just when I was lining up on here, there must have been some schmoo or something on it causing it to get a little off kilter, but yeah, she's freaking good. Looks good.